If you have a financial advisor and you're looking to make a change because you don't feel like you're getting value, or for whatever reason, you just don't think you have the right fit, it's natural to look for someone to replace your existing advisor. So I have an advisor. I need to look for another financial advisor, and how to find a financial advisor is a good place to go. But I want to propose an alternative way to approach that problem, which is if you're somewhat knowledgeable or willing to read and educate yourself on different service models and tools out there, you may be able to replace your advisor with more than one thing or person. So let me give you an example. Let's say you have a $1 million retirement account with a traditional financial advisor at a big name firm that runs a lot of commercials. And you don't feel like you're getting value, or you're coming across posts, or your friends are telling you that your 1% or is $10,000 a year. Is that worth it? And you're not sure you would have thought of it that way because the quarterly fee just comes out of the account, and that $2,500 a year on your statement looks pretty small compared to your $1 million. I think that's why the assets under management system can be a problem if you're not really getting value, so you're not thinking about that charge. It can also be a benefit to people who do feel like they're getting value because they're not focused only on the cost. They're looking at it in terms of their total wealth. So they're comparing that smaller number, not small, but a smaller number to a much bigger number on the statement. So in any event, if you just are uncomfortable with the idea that you're maybe not getting what you should for $10,000 a year, you're not hearing from your advisor, they're not doing anything other than sending you a statement, etc. But you don't really want to do it yourself. So here's one example of how you might break apart the roles that an advisor could play. Number one, for about half of 1 year's fee, you could probably hire a very thorough, talented, comprehensive fee-only financial planner to look at your whole situation, give you recommendations, confirm maybe what seems to be working well, point out some areas you can improve on, not just on your investments, but on various types of insurance, any retirement planning, estate planning, designations of beneficiaries, which is part of the estate plan. Look at on the insurance part, long-term care, life insurance if necessary, how to think about college planning if you have kids or grandkids you're hoping to help with education. So a very comprehensive plan for, let's call it 6 months worth of the fee you might be being charged in your account. So that would be $5,000. So very significant investment, maybe a decent dollar amount, but that would not be an ongoing cost. You could do that and get a very thorough snapshot of what might be you want to focus on, or if nothing else, confirm what you're doing is appropriate. And by itself, that would save you $5,000 year one. And then depending on the situation and depending on your comfort level, you may not need that kind of review for another 3 to 5 years. When you have life, big inflection points, big changes, big decisions, it's good to maybe revisit that. But and you might also be able to find that kind of help for less than $5,000. I'm just giving you that's probably on the high end for someone that has maybe not super amount of complexity. They don't own businesses. They don't have real estate in multiple states. But even for a business owner, depending on how complex it is, $5,000 might be a reasonable amount for a very, very thorough plan, including kind of a prescription for your investments. So it would be above and beyond what you're getting if you're paying $10,000 a year in the advisory fee and you're getting a statement and the investments are taken care of, so to speak. That would be a big, big improvement. And those people and those planners are out there. And I'm happy to help you find one or evaluate your search process for that. So, and let's say you don't want to have an ongoing management or supervision or worry about your investments. One, you could probably develop a strategy that doesn't require a lot of changing, a more strategic approach versus tactical. But even if you want to replace sort of the investments piece, for no more than 0.3% a year, so that would be $3,000 a year, you could use someone like Betterment, Wealthfront, Charles Schwab's Intelligent Portfolios, Vanguard's Personal Advisor Services. So you could go from $10,000 a year to $3,000 a year on the investments, and that would be an ongoing savings. So you probably wouldn't have the potential to customize as much as you could get with an individual advisor, especially if they're an independent advisor. But a lot of people are not getting that now. They're getting the Merrill Lynch, UBS, Wells Fargo, Morgan Stanley, Edward Jones, Raymond James, LPL, cookie cutter portfolio, and they're paying the full 1% or sometimes more. So if you can get, if you're going to get the cookie cutter, pay the cookie cutter price, which is more like 0.3%, not 1% or more. So in this hypothetical example where you break apart the pieces of your planning of your financial needs, you pay $5,000 one time for the investments. You switch to maybe a $3,000 a year, 0.3% investment solution. And now year one, you're paying $8,000. Year two, you're probably paying $3,000. And for several years, you're staying at that $3,000, hopefully more if your account is growing because it's based on your assets, even though it's a smaller number, the 0.3% on this $1 million hypothetical account. But you've cut out a lot of costs. And if you have the right planner up front, especially if you can go back to them for one-off questions, you probably have increased value. So might sound too good to be true, but so what's the downside? It'll take some time and energy to find the right person, to give them the data they need. So there's some work to it. But if you think about what Amazon does for us compared to what you had to shop for 5, 10, 20 years ago, or what a cell phone in your pocket can do compared to a flip phone 15 years ago, or nothing 20 years ago, 30 years ago. Use the development of new tools and around you to consider what's possible. And as a professional advisor, this is the kind of thing that I keep tabs on, because I want to make sure that I'm delivering a lot of value to my clients. And if you have an advisor and you feel that they are, I'm biased, but I think obviously people seem to value that relationship and that trust and knowing your situation inside and out. So definitely don't write off the 1% a year advisory fee as it's the worst thing that's ever happened, even though a lot of people in the blogosphere will suggest that. If it works for you, keep doing it. But if you're watching this and you're thinking about, is this really valuable, especially for a cookie cutter portfolio and no real ongoing financial advice or access to your advisor from non-investment questions, think about breaking apart the pieces of your advice and let me know if I can help with any specific questions on that, and happy to help. Thanks.